morning chat. Wait one sec. Good morning. Today we are drinking black coffee and talking about the biological perspective on psychology, which I have not made this video yet. I've been waiting to make it. I did a presentation about it to my English class, to my lecture, which was like 80 kids, and I think a lot of it went over their heads. But I mean, it's kind of against everything that medicine preaches about psychology. But I think a lot of psychologists would agree with me. See, what you need to understand about this is that we're looking into the antiquatal perspective of psychology, okay? So we're not talking about psychiatry, right? So what's the difference? What is psychiatry compared to psychology? This is so stupid, bro. I hate doing definitions at the start of my videos. Pretty much, the difference is that when we're talking about psychiatry, that is medicine and psychology combined. So that is diagnostic, right? It's diagnostic and it's treatment, but the treatment is very, very physiologically based, right? So when you meet with a psychiatrist, you say, I've been experiencing these symptoms. Your psychiatrist goes and says, okay, so you likely have this disorder and you should take this medication. I don't like that stuff. I don't think it's good for society, and I'll explain. But first, let's take some supplements. This will be like 10 seconds. And that will be good. So, it's the 6th of July, by the way. Happy 4th, Americans, non-Americans. I hope everything is good. You know, I'm gonna pause this, bro. This is gonna be like a minute. Quick breakdown of the supplement lineup. B12, 5 micrograms. Multivitamin for the health. Fish oil for the health. And fish oil, just such a weird flavor. Magnesium for the dome piece. Concrat Ali and agdisterone. Alright. So yeah, I did this lecture. It went well. My teacher didn't like it that much because she's going to be like a liberal psychologist. Because it's weird because there's like liberal psychology and there's like far left and conservative psychology, and the far left and the conservatives agree, right? Why do I know this? Because Anti-Psychiatry, Schizophrenia book, where is it? I don't know, but Hegel and all these people far left write about this as well. Let's get into it. So you get depressed, right? Work starts to get on you. People start to get on your nerves. You enjoy your days less and less. Sometimes you think about killing yourself, right? Standard is people will evaluate what they're doing in their life, think about what they can change, maybe try and be happier, try and be in the moment more, right? And maybe try meditation or something like that. Oftentimes it doesn't work, and people turn to medication or drugs, illicit or prescribed. And that stuff works temporarily. That's really what it is. So, some statistics, shall we? When you go to your doctor, you say, I've been feeling like this and this and this, and your doctor says, yeah, you have depression. And he talks about your family history. Because I talked to my doctor about my family history, my psychiatrist actually, when I had one. We're talking, right? And here's what you should know about me really quick. I was so depressed for years, bro. years. Like, I have like 3 or 4 journals full of notes, dude. And when I look back, I'm like, this is unbelievable how I felt. This is actually insane. Because I hated my life, bro. That was the truth. And I've been on a billion medications, the ones that I could list off the top of my head. Wellbutrin, Lexapro, what's it called? Some antipsychotic that helps with depression. And a few others. And I've done a lot of therapy and stuff, but honestly, bro, none of it really helped that much. So I do all this stuff, put all this money into it, and nothing really changed. Like, yeah, it'd get better, but then there wouldn't be a major change. I would still be depressed every day. Even when I was on like 4 medications, still depressed every day. Stuff like that. I was like, bro. And there's 8 perspectives in psychology, right? Let's see if I can list them all. Evolutionary, biological, humanistic, cross-cultural, psychoanalytic, cognitive, biopsychosocial, and wait, one more. I always forget this one. Oh, evolutionary. That's like the one I care the most about, right? But psychiatry is, literally just biological. That's what, because your psychiatrist doesn't say, well, have you tried this? Your psychiatrist doesn't say, have you tried thinking differently? Your psychiatrist says, here's medication, right? That's biological solution, right? Because you're going into your biology and altering brain chemical through intaking drug, right? And I'm very against that, because that means that you can't fix it in your day-to-day, that you turn to a drug, right? That's the truth. Because if you could fix it, why would you spend the money on your copay? Why would you go out and meet your psychiatrist and spend all this money? Right? Like, it's kind of like the last-ditch effort. Yet, a billion people do it. Right? So many people. And I remember I found this stat. I couldn't find it again. But 50% of women, I think in the UK, will be on antidepressants by 2030. Under the age of 50, I think. And I think that's excluding children. But, like, that's insanity, bro. 50%. And so, why I'm so against this is because there's a few parts. When you take a drug every day to fix your depression, you tell yourself every day that you're depressed, inherently. You guys remember Dream's music video where he has the normal pills and it's like supposed to be Adderall? Sometimes I miss Adderall, bro. I was so productive. I'm mad because I spent all my time on Adderall doing stupid stuff. Like, the amount that I could have learned, bro, if it was me now taking the Adderall, bro, I'd be so like, people are like, bro, you're crazy. I'd be so crazy, dude. I would know so much. Like, I'd literally just be schizo info dumping on people all the time, but whatever. Anyways, back to what I was saying. So, that's what you're doing, is you're taking the drug, and whether you realize it or not, you're telling yourself, I'm taking this to be normal, right? Because that's the point of the drug, is to make you like a normal person, And so it becomes this whole thing of, I'm depressed, I need this thing, right? And when you admit to someone too that you're depressed, like, something happens, I mean, I talk about manifestation, stuff like that. The words that you say and the image that you create to others does hold value over your future. It's true. Anyways, sorry, I didn't even say the statistics. So, this is an essay I wrote for my English class, which I then presented for extra credit. According to the CDC, suicide rates went up 16% between the years 2011 and 2021. An article from 2021. Genetic composition did not change significantly in 10 years, right? And so we need to look at other things. We need to look at lifestyles, okay? Because, like I said, you should only be taking antidepressants if you can't change the thing. Because you're messing a lot of stuff up. You really are. So, when you go to your psychiatrist and he says, you have depression, right? It's like, that it must be genetic, right? Like I said, because you've tried these things, or at least you think you've tried everything. And you're turning to the chemical change because you can't do it in your day-to-day, right? When he says, yeah, you have depression, and it's going to be like this for the rest of your life, because they're not going to give you medication if it's not like, if you're in something that's like, what's it called? What's the condition called where you're in a changing time and you feel like depressed or anxious? Like if you moved and you have no friends, and for the whole month that you're in that new state, new city, you feel depressed, that's normal. That's like, they're not going to give you drugs for that. Right? Like, that's just how it is. But, when they give you the drugs, they think that you're going to be like that for the rest of your life. You know, when I'm talking to my doctor, I tell him, bro, I've been trying everything, I think. I mean, I didn't say I think. I thought that at the time. And I still feel horrible, right? Like, I'm journaling every night, getting exercise, getting sun. Like, what's up with this? You know, I'm trying very hard. And he's like, yeah, well, depression is in your family history because your grandma was depressed, your aunt was depressed. Sorry to leak that. Family members, but, right, like, some of your parents have dealt with this stuff. Multiple people in your family. Right? It made me kind of hopeless, is the truth. Because that means it's in my genetics. And if something is in my genetics, then I manifest the fruits of that thing. Then it means that I must have it in my genetics, right? In my personal genetics. Like I say, in my genetics. The first time is in my family history, and the second time is in me. Right? And hopelessness, in a study by Qui et al. 2017, findings are consistent with the more recent perspective that hopelessness plays a key role in suicidal ideation. Right? Hopelessness plays into suicide. And we tell people you're going to be depressed for the rest of your life. And get this, I think America, or maybe just generally the first world, this is the first time in history that we've been degressing the lifespan of people, right? The average lifespan. Because people kill themselves so much. As medical technology is getting better, right, we can put you on life support and you could live even though you literally are fried, like it's over. We have all this stuff, insulin for the diabetics. So much, people don't die of pneumonia anymore, right? But people are killing themselves so much that it lowers the lifespan. Something's not right. Something is not being well done, right? And so, with this stuff about depression and stuff like that, right, where so many people are on antidepressants, that means that they think that they can't overcome it themselves. Because, like, guys, when you're on antidepressants, there are a lot of side effects. It's very annoying to take a pill every day. All this stuff, but there's so many people on it, right? And we really look at everything through a psychiatric perspective. That's just the truth. It's very unfortunate, right? And honestly, this is really a symptom of our system today. Because when you think about it, right, people are benefiting from you being depressed. Like, that's true, bro. Who's a bigger consumer than the extremely depressed guy, right? Because other people, happy people, don't think, I need that bag. Yo, I need that new keyboard for my gaming setup. Like, because the truth is, People like to think like that. People like that, like, kind of future-oriented mindset of, I'll be happy when this happens. Right? It's very common. So if you're very depressed and you're driving after something, and that something is material, right, which a lot of the time it is a material thing, when I get a better apartment, right, people are benefiting from this. If you find happiness within yourself, like, they're losing money. Because no happy person scrolls Instagram for 5 hours a day to get the material thoughts into their brain piece, right? It just doesn't happen. But when you scroll Instagram 5 hours a day because you see no point to your life, because you hate it, because you just want to escape, right? You become the consumer and you give them the money, you know? And nothing makes more money than addiction, and no happy person is addicted to anything besides, like, their family not dying or some normal ass thing like that, right? It's true. Okay. So, because we've had this whole system going on, because we've made psychology so black and white, it's based on science, really, is what it is. Psychology is kind of merged with psychiatry a little bit, where it's very science-based and genetics are a huge role, right? Think about this, to the point that you won't tell your fat friend that, hey, bro, this isn't good, because you're scared that it's his genetics that makes him like that. No, bro, he's running from something. There's some trauma in his life. I talked about that in the obesity video. But it's crazy how much we've taken up this mentality of genetics are everything with your dome. Because genetics play a lot of a role in a lot of things, right? Look at the black pill video I made. Genetics play a role in a lot, but in your ability to find happiness in your life, it's not everything at all. It's actually very little, right? So because we have this basis on science, it's difficult to prove the existence of thoughts. And because of this, conscious and subconscious mind are both neglected, and matters are seen in a mostly physiological perspective. We can see this with the way that we treat neurosis, right? A person is almost always given advice for one of two things when they're neurotic: medication or short-term coping mechanisms, right? And why do I say coping mechanisms are short-term? Well, you learn to do grounding, right? You know what grounding is? 5 senses, find 5 things that you can see, 4 things that you can hear, 3 things that you can feel, 2 things that you can smell. Why am I forgetting the 5th sense, bro? Whatever, you know? And is that going to save someone from the panic attack? Yeah, they're going to... When you do that, bro, you actually be like, wait, what the? There's things around me, and I'm tweaking about the future. Like, I'm just going to be in the moment. That works. What happens the next day? What happens 2 weeks later? Will you ever stop panicking about that one thing that you thought about because you escaped it for a moment? No. You won't. That's just the truth. You know? And we've really been leaning towards CBT and stuff like that. And CBT can drive long-term solutions, but when you're doing stuff like, am I thinking of DBT? I don't know. But when we push things like this, meditate. You're escaping is what you're doing, right? And it's like a drug addict. Like, it's going to come back, and you're going to feel the same way because you didn't solve anything, because you just left the problem. You just left it, right? And those are like the main ways that we treat neurosis. Like, I got this from an article about treating neurosis from Feldman in 2018. We need to think more like the greats of psychology, as Friedrich Nietzsche, one of the greatest philosophers of all time, wrote about in his book Anti-Education. When you're learning principles, you're not to learn from the third-hand sources that are saying, like, if I'm not to learn philosophy, right, I shouldn't read the this is what existentialism is, this is what nihilism is, this is what absurdism is. Nah, I'm supposed to read Camus, and then I'm supposed to read some Schopenhauer or something. Schopenhauer doesn't write about that stuff, and then I'm supposed to read Schopenhauer, and then I'm supposed to read Plato and Nietzsche, right? Instead of just the breakdown of principles, you need to get in their head about stuff, the greats who made most of the stuff. Because, like I've talked about in many other videos, I think I talked about this in the how to research video. When you read those sources, like, yeah, you get the intake a little bit, but bro, when you get in the head of the guy who thought it, you learn so much. So, we need to copy some of the greats in psychology. As Carl Jung wrote, psychology is a dynamic field full of possibilities. He added to this concept that's on page 24. I don't know what book. I think Man and Symbols probably. He also added to this concept in The Psychology of Transference, in which he wrote, each new case that requires thorough treatment is a pioneer work, and every trace of routine then proves to be a blind alley. That's on page 32. Therefore, Jung would offer differing solutions based on the factors of the neurosis itself, such as psychoanalytic, evolutionary, humanistic, and sociological. Same thing with Freud. Yeah, I know Freud was weird. Like, he did all that weird stuff with the women and stuff, and he's probably gay. All that. Don't get me wrong, but does that mean that he wasn't a genius of psychology? No, of course not. Right? Most of the greats are pretty weird people. Literally every celebrity that you love is probably a pedophile. Okay, so shut up. Yeah, but we need people who are very experienced, not someone who went to med school or some shit like that, you know? Like, do you learn things while you're at those schools? Yes, but honestly, psychology is mostly practice to become perfect, which you're never going to be perfect, but practice to become good at the thing, right, rather than learning. Especially the way that they teach psychology now, right? Because when you can learn how to treat people on an individual basis, get in their head and break down the walls, help them bring their unconscious conscious, shout out Jung, through individuation, right? You can save them, bro. You can actually save people that way. But when you're doing the, oh, well, you need to try this for coping, and you need to do, no, bro, no, like, so bad. Because, like I said, you're neglecting thought is what you're doing when you need to tell people to cope, when you tell people, oh, well, you have this issue. You need to take the humanistic perspective, cognitive perspective, and biopsychosocial, of course, but minimal bio, right? Because honestly, I quite truly do believe if we took someone who's depressed, someone who's obese, someone who's severely anxious, someone with OCD, and put them in the woods, bro, if we put that dude in an island, you're telling me that he'll still have the same problems? You're telling me that if we put him in his natural human state, in a tribe, working for his food every day by killing animals, by raising a farm, he has kids, and he can just live, you're telling me that he'll still be depressed? Because, bro, where were the native peoples? Where were the early humans talking about depression? When did they talk about that in their cave paintings? And here's what we do learn, is that schizophrenia was real, right? You can look at Native Americans, talk about it a lot. A lot of people talked about, yeah, bro, like, there'll be some people in our tribe that'll be like, the voices, and stuff like that, but, like, they're never talking about the narcissist in their tribe, you know? Because it doesn't exist in humans' natural state, bro. You know where these things come into play? Is when you're raised, your entire childhood is spent in a classroom, your entire adulthood is spent in a cubicle. Like, yeah, you're gonna be depressed, bro. Oh, that was so much coffee grounds, dude. Can't really see. Oh man, this is kind of disgusting. Sorry. I didn't mean to burp like that, guys. It just kind of came out. No, you know what I'm saying though? Like, teenager spends 5.8 hours a day on social media. I don't remember where the stats from. Of course you don't like your life. Of course, bro, you're sitting going like this, frying your dopamine receptors. That's your life. Like, obviously you don't like it. And I'll say this, bro. I had such a bad existential crisis when I didn't believe in God. I said crisis. Crisis when I didn't believe in God, bro. Because life without God, without a religion, is horrible, dude. In this society, because you're literally suffering for nothing. This is what would play through my head. I'm doing all this work. I'm gonna work really hard so I can get out of high school, so I can get out of college. Through all that hard work, I'll go and I could get a job where I do more hard work to have kids and get married, to die and just be another gravestone, bro. Because it's such insignificance and it's so much work and annoying stuff for nothing, bro. That's like the most summed down way I can explain that. But yeah, I mean, I just think that we should have a basic understanding of all the principles of psychology rather than just genetics, because guys, like I said, genetics have not changed that much over the past 100 years even, and depression and people killing themselves, being very anxious and hating their lives has changed significantly. So you have to look at the lives that people are living, bro. Right? Like, that's really all we need to be doing. You need to look at your life. And when you truly evaluate things, dude, and you think about it through the humanistic perspective, you can actually change stuff. Like, the indomitable human spirit is real, bro. It's so real. You know? And people don't want to hear this, though. People hate that. And I know I said this in my last video, or 2 videos ago, or 3 or something. When you hear that it's literally in your head, bro, you get angry. But what happens when I made you angry, bro? I saved you. Because now you have energy. Like, depression is sitting in your bed all day and staring at the wall. That's sloth. That's maximum sloth. You're maximally deprived of your energy, bro. But you need to charge the astral flame with the emotional plane of existence. Right? And bro, like, when you're mad, when you're really mad, that's hard work. When you get sick, I used to write this all the time. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And bro, I saved my life. Like, it's crazy. Because after that, dude, it became more and more angry about it. More and more angry. More and more tired of feeling this way. And I charged it up, dude. And I took off, bro. Like, it's crazy. But bro, like, when you're depressed laying in bed, dude, that's no astral flame at all. That's nothing. And you know, anxious people are often very hardworking. If they're not like the anxious and depressed kind. If they're the kind that are just really neurotic and they're like, I need his approval. Because bro, that's energy. And that's a horrible way to live, right? You have to overcome it. But the anxious are typically much harder working than the depressed. You know? Because they need the things and they get angry when they don't have it and stuff. Anyways, bro. Yeah, you need to learn to stop dampening your astral flame, really. Because I'm going to be honest, bro, a lot of it is in your head. Well, they don't understand this bad stuff happened to me. Bad stuff happened to them too, bro. The ones they were saying don't understand. Yeah, some people have white picket fence life, right? Of course. But you have friends, you have coworkers that have suffered worse than you. And look at this dude, he's just chilling. He's just grinding, bro. Because it's a mental thing. It is, bro. And like, when I say I thought I tried everything, because I did. there would be times where I'd be like, well, I heard of this new thing in my psychological reading, and I want to try it. But then sometimes, bro, I'd listen to the demons, and they'd be like, you already tried so much, and nothing changed. But when I said, fuck you, right, and I take the sword, and I'm like, whoosh, chop his head off. And then I actually try more and more, and bro, I fixed it. You know? But, yeah, I've talked about a lot of this stuff in my other videos. That's all, guys. I just think that we should stop promoting psychiatry so much, because a lot of people don't need to hear it, bro. Like, a lot of people you're literally just ruining their lives. You know, my pastor at my church in Phoenix said, people don't want to change because the change is to admit that they're wrong. You know? And that's the truth, bro. Stop murdering your dreams, bro. Think about yourself as a kid. Are you not like, what am I doing? Think about him. Think of that little version of you, bro. He was so ambitious. Bro. But you fed yourself poison, bro. You straight up fed yourself poison. You believe these lies. And, bro, like, of course you're suffering. Of course you're suffering, dude. Like, you need to fix it, bro. And like I said about the astral flame, when you take antidepressants, when you smoke weed every day to cure your anxiety, whatever it may be, you're lagging the recovery massively. Because, bro, the first stage of alchemical transformation, according to Carl F. Jung, I think it's F. C.J. Jung? Wait. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Is the negrido. What does that mean? What is the negrido? The blackening, bro. Think about this. When a refiner is making silver, he has to cook it at an extremely hot temperature so all the impurities can rise to the top. I was talking to my grandma about this yesterday. She told me this, and I was like, this is so base, bro. You cook it, all the muck rises to the top, you scoop it out, and what do you get? Beautiful, refined silver, and it's the greatest thing ever. But what do you do when you take antidepressants, bro? You turn the fire off, and you're just like, it's fine. I've learned to accept my impurities. No, bro. No, don't accept them. This is why. So you have to realize you failed because you feel like this. These people have something that you don't have. Go claim it, bro. Go find what it is. And talk to people openly about your feelings, right? I mean, not really, but if you can get people to open up and you realize how messed up everyone is, bro, you won't feel like this for long. You know? Like, when you learn some of the stuff that happened to those around you, which, like, yeah, it's hard to do, but honestly, bro, when you're an open book, like, other people become comfortable, you know? And, like, I was talking to my friend, and he's like, yeah, I have this, what are they called, bro? Someone who advises you. It's, they're like, I have this mentor, and he's a psychologist. And, bro, like, I opened up so much to him. I was like, dude, he doesn't know the methods, bro. He doesn't know. Because pretty much, when you're very open and honest and you make yourself, pretty much what you're telling them is that I expect you not to judge me and I am not judging you, right? Because when I go to someone and I say, hey, bro, I fell into this pitfall so hard for years, people are like, yo, that's way worse, or that's a similar level to the thing that I'm going to say. So, like, whatever. Because, like, especially as men, you don't get that interaction often, bro. This is why I could never be a psychologist for women, bro. Like, this is why I only can really talk about men. Is because, bro, it's a different game. It's a completely different game. And, like, It's very, very different, and it's much more difficult because with the woman, I can't look at them and say, you're failing. Because then they're like, no, I failed, and stuff, and it's like all emotional thought. But with men, you can pry into their emotional logic and put in real logic. Like, pew, pew. You know? And they'll listen, bro. But yeah. That's about it, guys. Don't listen to the lies, bro. Don't listen to these people. You feel like this. You feel like this because of your genetics. No, bro. Don't listen. Don't listen to them. Because, like, I mean, honestly, bro, you need to do some research into the medical industry and what they do. Look into oxycodone, okay? Purdue Pharma. I have such a long essay about this. Purdue Pharma. Test oxycodone. Yeah, it's really addictive and not that effective. Medical board. You can't push this out. Bribes. Some lobbying and stuff. We can put this out now. Doctors, we're taking away some of your pay and we'll only give it back if you hit this quota of prescribing oxycodone. Now we have heroin. Now we have heroin in the U.S., bro. Because how do people get on heroin? How does that happen? Well, typically you start on a chill downer like Percocet or something like that. Oxycodone in this case. Do the oxycodone. Spam it because it's really addictive and you hate your life. Get addicted. My prescription's out. Scramble, maybe get another prescription somehow. Steal someone's. Stealing grandma's perks. Compilation. Gone wrong. You know? And then, what happens? Well, I'm out, bro. You slowly move up. You buy the fake pills off the street. It's a lot of fentanyl or something. And you just slowly move up to cheaper and cheaper and worse and worse. And then you're addicted to heroin, bro. And then you're one of the crack people that I talk to. Like, it's horrible. But, yeah, don't trust them. You know, they were prescribing cigarettes, bro. Like, you don't think that they knew it was bad? Well, the studies didn't come out. Bro, come on. Like, that's ridiculous. No, dude. Everyone, when I say this, bro, everyone is preying on your downfall. And, like, yeah, Amazon opened meditation chambers in their factories, bro. Sure. Yeah, they have meditation chambers, okay? But when are they going to be like, yeah, we'll actually give you guys sunlight? When is that going to happen? When is someone going to come out and say, yeah, bro, so pretty much your gut microbiome controls like 40% of your chemical production in your brain. So when you eat hot Cheeto and McNugget all day, yeah, of course you hate your life. No one says that. So go do the research on your own, bro. That's it. God bless. Let me know any thoughts below. First psychology video in a minute. Sorry about the lag. Sorry about being gone for so long, guys. Cheers.